Welcome back to the Willie Bobo Show. Today we need to talk about SB4. And this is something that's been on the table for a minute, but now it's going to be totally kicked in within the next year. This is something that's very, very steep and dangerous for a lot of people. Uh, they can target anybody. And they're using it that, if you seem to be somebody whom doesn't fit the description of what an American is, they can deport you. They can detain you. They can slap you with a felony. This shit is treacherous. Now, the core components, the mechanisms and legal realities of this enforcement framework are going to include, not limited to, are going to include the creation of state level immigration crimes as illegal entries, right? So now these are going to be issued under a brand new state misdemeanor offense for unauthorized entry into Texas from a foreign nation. We need to understand that this is namely going after Mexican people, but let them tell that black people are a problem, right? When are you guys going to wake up? This turns an infraction that historically has fallen exclusively under federal civil and criminal immigration law into a state level criminal charge, which is now going to be punishable by up to 6 months in a jail for a first offense. It's fucked up. Now, let's say if this person chooses to illegally re-enter. Subsequent or escalated violations, such as re-entering the state after a previous formal deportation or removal, is classified as a higher level state felony carrying severe prison term. There's a lot of people that go to the Philippines every year to pick up children, to go over there and do horrible things, but they walk back into this country like it's no problem whatsoever. Local law enforcement, they're going to be used as de facto immigration officers. They have been empowered to detain and question people. The framework empowers local and state peace officers to arrest individuals that they suspect of having entered the United States unlawfully. I didn't know they were trained to be able to recognize someone like that. Wow, they must have extensive FBI training, CIA training, right? Wrong. They're profiling and they are being discriminatory, and it needs to stop. Because the law relies heavily on officers' suspicion regarding a person's origin or their presence, their civil rights organization, and legal analysts. They have repeatedly been warned, that it really institutionalizes racial profiling. It's quite evident. It's quite obvious. It's blatant. It's disgusting. Now, they're saying that anyone whose appearance, accent, or language matches biased preconceptions risks being targeted for status checks by local law enforcement. I wonder if that's going to hold true for South Africans, because these white South Africans sound like somebody that could actually blow up the country. They sound like the individuals that would shoot something up, don't they? But they're not going to be ridiculed. They're not going to be put away. They're going to be tarnished, are they? State magistrates are going to be acting as immigration judges. They're going to issue state order removal. Under these provisions is what they call them. Local Texas magistrates, they're going to be authorized to issue state level orders of removal. The coercion trap is going to be set. And what I mean by that is this. Individuals that are going to be brought before this magistrate possibly may be presented with an agreement of removal. They don't understand the language of the law here. Hell, most of us U.S. citizens don't understand the language of the law here, but they're going to be presented with this as a way out. Now, this is essentially a state directive demanding that they cross back over the border, typically to Mexico, regardless of whether Mexico is their country of origin or not. Regardless, you're going to go to Mexico. Choosing to fight the state prosecution is going to require navigating through criminal court systems. They're not familiar with that. while refusing to comply with the state removal order is going to only escalate the individual into exposure to a multi-year felony charge. We're back to the free labor. Here's my fourth point. This, in my opinion, constitutionally clashes, and it brings forth the legal battle exclusive federal authority. The foundational Constitution argument against the law is that the United States Constitution grants the federal government, federal, not individual state governments, federal. So who's being able to pull Hot Wheels into the point where he can make this legislation himself? Piss poor individual. Your mother should have swallowed you. I'm being serious. Border policy, foreign policy, border enforcement, deportation, injunctions, ongoing litigation, federal courts, civil rights groups, ACLU, legal defense coalitions. All these have continuously fought these provisions, these issuings of preliminary blocks and so on. That does nothing. It does nothing. Just like they've been able to eradicate all of the THC stores around here. Why is that? It's called lobbying. You lace those pockets, you put the money, you grease those palms. Yeah, you're going to get shit like this. These injunctions, it's strikingly similar to previous unconstitutional overreaches like Arizona's old show me your papers law. You guys remember that? The show me your papers law wasn't too long ago. Now, despite legal roadblocks, the state has continuously attempted to operationalize these enforcement schemes. They're creating ongoing legal bullshit battles where war over civil liberties in Texas. It hasn't ended since the Alamo. They're really pissed off that they lost because they got their ass kicked over slavery. They're coming for everybody. They're setting up a system where suspicion is born of bias and heritage is treated as a crime. Now, if you leave the state, let's say for a family vacation, if you cross state lines, if you go back to visit family from abroad, and you come back as a proud, card-carrying United States citizen, you're still walking into a crosshair. They can totally tag you. If you don't look like them, if you don't speak like them, if your skin tone carries the rich melanin of our ancestors, they want the legal muscle to harass you. They want the legal muscle to detain you. They want the legal muscle to throw you out. This isn't law enforcement. This is what you call state-sanctioned racial profiling codified into statute. That's really what it is. It's time to stop singing and start swinging. It's time to become radical. Here's the Ox Delight Willy Bobo show call to action: economic and social boycotting. I've said it before. We can't sit here and wait to see how far they're going to take it, because they're going to take it however far it's going to be able to go. Do we politely debate the people who view our very presence as an invasion? Hell no. I've done it before and I'm doing it again. I'm issuing a public outcry to every single person listening to this podcast across the entire United States of America, across the world. Listen to me clearly. Do not move to Texas. If you are black, if you are brown, if you are an ally with conscience, do not pack your bags for the Lone Star State, no matter how juicy the economic prospect may look, because economically it's pretty fucking sweet out here. Let their economy feel the weight of bigotry. Find somewhere else to go that's going to be equivalent to your lifestyle. Don't buy homes there. Don't. Do not build businesses here. Don't. and do not invest a single red cent of your wealth into a state that treats human beings like political targets. If you do this, now for us that are here, we're here for right now. Because me, I plan on getting the fuck out of here after my son graduates, and that's my fucking word. Pull your kids from these sports programs. To every parent, every athlete, every powerhouse high school star and collegiate prospect, do not send your kids to play sports for any university in the state of Texas. We already know what's happening through the South, period. I've already said we should not send our kids to these PWIs when we know fucking well that your parents really don't have a vote in that state due to the fact of the way that they've redesigned things. Let their stadiums echo the emptiness. Let their multi-million-dollar athletic programs wither because families' morality refuses to feed their entertainment machine while our civil rights are being stripped away. Because if we do allow these things, such as our kids going to play for these people, all we're doing is saying, yo, my kid is for sale. It's okay. Because the dollar bill is what's more important. Boycott Texas business, man. If there's a corporation that is headquartered in Texas, scrutinize it. Because you know damn well they didn't move here to create jobs. They moved here to save money. If you have any type of humanity within you, starve the beast. Vote them out. Get out there. For all of those that are currently trapped, living in Texas, my brothers, my sisters, my elders, my families, you got one of two choices. You only got one of two. And the only two choices are to survive and live relatively comfortably. And we're talking economically because socially you're not living. Either get organized, mobilize, and vote. Vote, vote, vote. Vote these bigoted extremists completely out of office. Because if you don't vote them out of office, man, you're going to bitch again, you're going to complain and so on. And look, I used to be the motherfucker, be like, motherfucker vote. But over these past 20 years, I've totally changed my mind. Texas is drawing a line in the sand, you guys. And it's telling us that we're only welcome if we bow down, shut up, and accept second-class citizenship, or even worse, expulsion. They want a homogenous playground where hate dictates the rules. As brown people, we outnumber their backward ideology. But if we lock arms, I mean, I'm serious. If we lock arms and realize that an attack on one of us is an immediate threat to all of us, we can win. I promise you, we can win. If you don't have the numbers to flip the legislature tomorrow, protect your peace, protect your family, and get out. But if you stay, you fight with your ballot like your life depends on it, you better. Because it does. Wake up, America. Wake up. Everything that is going on in this state right now has been going on in this state for over 250 fucking years. It is not going to stop unless we do something about it. Look at that authoritarian exclusion. Do not let them normalize it. I'm Oxalite. This is the Willie Bobo Show, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. You want to be a guest on the show? Please hit me up at thewillieboboshow@gmail.com. Let's get into a discussion panel, guys. Let's build something. It's time for us to start building our own protective ways. They train each other. We need to start doing the same. Brown man, you got to wake up, man. Your conditioning has been conditioned. And that's a sad shame. Your crabs in a bucket theory is just as bad as ours. You're suffering just the same way we are. And maybe you think because you're a little bit lighter and your hair is straight like theirs, that you're equivalent. You're not. You're fooling yourself. Not a lot of you that I know are like that. And I guess I've been blessed along the way to be associated with some fantastic brown people. But let me put you up on something. The only difference between me and you, or yourself, or any black person in this country, is a boat stop. And that is all. A boat stop. Because you got dropped off, my ancestors got dropped off, we all mingled together, and we did something. But something happened along the way to which you guys ultimately forgot. Now, every bill that's being passed here recently is all about making sure that they knock you the fuck off. If you don't want to die, keep your hands high. Ain't no right or wrong in this game called Survive. Peace to Trey Lee. This is Ox the Light. Let's kick the Willie.